Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about the latest prices for the latest Space Marine pre-orders. If you haven't checked my previous video the other day, Salamanders and Imperial Fist are going to be going on pre-order on the 19th to be released on the 26th. I've been sent the price list on how much everything is going to cost, so that's what we're going to talk about in the video. Also, I want to talk about, and I think we'll start with it first, is the dices. What the hell has happened to all these chapter dice? So let's start off with that. So we all know that the White Scars and the Ultramarines got their chapter dice. They were cool, they were awesome. Some people said no, they didn't really like them, they thought they were a bit too busy. Yeah, I can see people getting that, but I personally loved them. I think they added a little bit more, and I've been holding out actually buying some custom Imperial Fist dice, waiting for the actual Imperial Fist dice to release officially off GW. Now, when the Raven Guard and Iron Hands supplements hit a couple of months ago now, they didn't get any dice, and I thought, that is kind of strange. They didn't get dice, but we've seen out in a wild a White Scars dice labelled as Salamander dice. So I thought maybe they're just missing out the Raven Guard and the Iron Hands dice because they're both black and they may cause a bit of conflict or something. I'm not too sure. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. And they're just going to skip those dice for now, and then they're going to put out the Salamander and the Imperial Fist dice together. But we now know with all the pre-orders and all the stuff that got revealed, the codexes, the special limited edition codex, the models, the cards, there was no dice included in any of it. I'm just wondering, GW, what in the Emperor's name is going on? Is it only the White Scars and Ultramarines that are actually getting dice, or will we eventually all get our dice at a later stage? I really wish that someone at GW or someone on the Warhammer community could clear that up for us, because the last thing I want to be doing is going to buy third-party dice and then they release all their dice and I'm like, oh my holy Emperor, I just wasted so much money, when if you guys could just give me a heads up and saying, hey, don't worry, our dice are coming, but it's not coming right at this moment in time. So please can someone please help me out here? Okay, let's move on to the bloody prices, because that's why you're all here anyway. Let's talk about the prices. So the big thing that's been on everyone's mind is the Impulsor tank. How much is the Impulsor going to be? And I can reveal now that it is exactly £45 for you to purchase an Impulsor tank. So if we compare the Impulsor, which is, it's basically a dedicated transport. I know it can be more in the rules. It can, turn itself into audible bombardment and stuff. You can, it's got the invulnerable saves. The rules are a bit different from a standard transport vehicle. But if we compare it to the Space Marine Rhino, that is £27.50 all over on the GW website. If we compare it to a Primaris Repulsor, which is £50, again, for that extra £5, you're actually getting like a more or less a tank. I know the price cost in points is massively different. I think it's around 95 points if I'm not mistaken for an Impulsor, and I think it's 300 points for a Primaris Repulsor tank. I know, yeah. The pricing is different. It all depends how you're going to be using it. And the Primaris Repulsor Execution is £60. So for a Rhino, it's £27.50. For an Impulsor, it's £45. For a Primaris Repulsor tank, it is £50. And for the Primaris Repulsor Executioner, it is £60. So £45. Is that going to be worth it for you chaps? I'm personally going to buy one because, of course, I'm going to buy every unit in a Primaris army just for the fact that I want to own every unit in a Primaris army because I like Primaris. I'm probably going to be painting this up as a different chapter, actually. I'm thinking of doing this as Crimson Fists and a little squad of Crimson Fists going in there for my Last War Protocol force. So I think that's what I'm going to be doing with this. But do you think it's worth it? Again, I think the argument comes down to the pricing of the points cost in-game and what you can use it for in-game. If it was me, personally, and I was going to buy something, I would rather spend the extra £50 and just get, the extra £5 and just get a Primaris Repulsor. But again, it all depends how you got to use it. I was really excited for the Impulsor because I wanted to use it to transport my aggressors up the board. But we now know that the Impulsor, which is the dedicated transport for the Primaris, can transport aggressors. That's probably rules wise and stuff, because you can run it up and then you can disembark people and they can fight. Maybe that is a bit broken if you're jumping like a squad of aggressors out with flamers or bolt storm gauntlets and stuff, use a stratagem to shoot twice. I can kind of see it work. That was a problem with the rules. But then when I think of rules and stuff, I just look back and just look at Iron Hands. I'm thinking, well, if they're broken, why can't I have aggressors being broken as well? It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, that was a big letdown for me with the Impulsor not being able to transport transport Gravis armor, because that's my main problem at the moment. It's just getting the Gravis up the field. By the time they're up there, it's more or less, there's nothing left to shoot at, or, you know, they're been shot off the board. It's just one or two of those scenarios. Right, let's move on to the next prices. Right, if we check the Space Marine Primaris Infiltrators, so these are the multi-part Infiltrators. Remember the last time, well, the only time you could purchase these is with the Shadow Spear box set, or if you went on eBay and bought them separately and stuff, but they were all the easiest to fit. They went together, you couldn't really kit bash them and do, awesome things as we like to do in the hobby. But these ones are all multi-part kits, so you can put different arms on them, swap the guns around, heads around, all the cool stuff that you come to expect with these multi-part kits. Now these are going to be £35. Now again, is that worth it for you as a? I think you have to look at all this. Is it worth it for your army? Technically, the Primaris Infiltrators are probably some of the best troop choices, because if you roll a 6, then that is an instant wound. It counts as a wound then. You don't have to roll your wounds again. I think they've changed the rules now, if I'm not mistaken, for Imperial Fist. With the Bolter Drill, if you roll a 6, the 6 used to count for an extra hit and a wound as well, but I think they fixed that in the FAQ. I'll just have to read it after the video or something, or maybe one of you guys can help me out in the comment section, but I'm sure they fixed that. So for Imperial Fist, they were like, oh my god, bring all the bring all the Infiltrators, because they count as troop choices as well. So if you're making like a battalion, or a brigade or something, if you're that mad, then you can have a ton of Infiltrators, and they can just roll all the DACA and deploy, and 12 inches away. Oh, sorry, it's 9 inches away from a target. 12 inches if it's against other Infiltrators, and nothing can come close within 12 inches as well. And one of the really cool things that the Primaris Infiltrators have as well, if you have one of your Vox guys, and you have a Vanguard captain and stuff, his aura applies to anywhere on the battlefield then, so you're always re-rolling your misses and stuff. It doesn't apply with a chapter master. They fix that in the FAQ. I always find it kind of funny that these Infiltrators don't listen to a chapter master, but they listen to a captain. But of course, it comes to balance reasons and all that kind of stuff once again. But there we go, £35 for the Infiltrators. Now, when it comes to the codexes, I'll probably just do these in bundles because they're more or less all the same. So Codex Supplement Imperial Fist and Codex Supplement Salamanders. These are the normal editions. This is the normal. This is not the special edition, this is just a normal edition. This is £17.50. I actually do think GW are doing these books at a fantastic price. If it's one thing I can agree with, that the books for £17.50, I think it's good. Technically, yes, you could argue that, you have to buy the Space Marine Codex first. But for me, I think £17.50 is great just for these things, because they are packed full of lore, they are packed full of stratagems, relics and stuff like that. It's not just a book of fancy pictures. It actually will help your army on the table. Well, it will help your army on the tabletop, and it will make them the force to be reckoned with, however you want to play with them. So the Salamander Imperial Fist one's £17.50 each. When it comes to the data cards, so Imperial Fist and the Salamander data cards, they are going to be £10 each. And with the characters, Imperial Fist Tor Garadon and Salamander Adrax Agastone, they are £25 per character. Again, this is directly buying from GW. If you have those hobby shops you go to, mine is Element Games, of course. Always click my link if you want to support me. Thank you very much. Shameless plug. Then yeah, you're probably going to get it cheaper. I think Element Games do it around 20% off and stuff like that. I'm sure there's other hobby shops out there that'll just be doing the same. Is there anything else? Yes, there is. The Salamander's Primaris upgrade sprue. Is this different from the Imperial Fist one? Let me just check. No, they are both the same. So the upgrade and transfers are both £15 each. So if you buy a box of £15, so the Salamander Primaris upgrade and transfers, it's £15, and the Imperial Fist Primaris and upgrade transfers are £15 as well. And in them you get 2 transfer sheets and you get the upgrade kit as well. I think the Salamander one is probably my favourite upgrade kit out of them all. I think they're really, 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 really cool. When it comes to Black Library releases, it's attached to this little thing I've got. It's basically all Sigmar stuff. It's the Red Feast, which is £9, the House of Knight and Chain, which is £9, and the Way Out, which is £12. That's an audio. These are apparently Warhammer horror stories, which I was talking about this last night. I know this is a bit off topic for this video, but isn't technically every story in 40k or Warhammer a horror story, since you get butchered by like an undead zombie mutant, something that's very, very evil? I'm not too sure. Maybe that's a debate for another time. How is a horror story different from a 40k story? Interesting. One more thing I actually want to talk about. In this email I got sent to me, this is obviously sent from GW to the retail stores. And it actually says here, like GW are like selling this to the stores. And there's a point here that says, this is good for you because... And it says, not only are the Space Marines our top-selling army, so this is the point I want to go off, but your customers are primed for new releases following the preview of these miniatures in August. So it's basically, you know, it's been an ongoing thing since August. But the main thing is that Space Marines are our top-selling army. There's been a little bit of debate about what is a top-selling army. A lot of people said it was Tau, Eldar, or stuff, but GW now have confirmed it themselves in that email. I know it's, you know, people may know this already, but Space Marines are their top-selling army. So this is why I think we're seeing such an abundance of Space Marine stuff. Like this past year, it's been Primaris. You can argue that the next Psychic Awakening is going to focus on Primaris as well, with the whole Templar rumor and Chaos Space Marines and stuff. I know Chaos Space Marines are not technically space. Yeah, they are Space Marines, but they're not the good guy. Well, no one's good, but you know what I mean. They're not Imperium based Space Marines. So, but they are Space Marines. So that book or box set might sell fantastically well for them, whatever they plan to do with that. So yeah, GW just confirming stuff there. I think I'm going to dedicate a video on that myself, because there's actually a lot to talk about on the subject, and I don't want to attach it to this subject because this is just a pricing video. Yeah, next video we'll talk about that. Alright, Chaperonios, that is me done for another video. Thank you for coming, thank you for watching. As always, leave your thoughts and feedback in the comment section below. What do you think about the prices? Do you think they're good, they're bad? To be completely fair, I haven't bought from GW. I can't remember the last time I actually went in or ordered something off the GW website. I always get my stuff via third-party retailers because it's just cheaper. It's more logical. I know for you guys in the States, in the US, and, you know, New Zealand and Australia, especially New Zealand and Australia, in that like Asia Pacific area with the Dollarunios you've got, you guys, I really do. My hats are off to you. For those guys who are still deep in the hobby, I couldn't afford it. I just couldn't afford it with the prices that you guys are being hit with, and I've heard that you don't really have like the third party hobby shops and stuff like that. So yeah, it's awful. You have my condolences. I condone. You know, you're not dead, but you know what I mean. It's terrible. And yeah, it's what can we do at the end of the day? Yeah, again, that's another subject for another time. Right, I'm done for another video. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. It's been fun. It's been emotional. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. See you now, and bye-bye.